So I've actually had this TTArtisan's AF 40mm f2 for a long time, and I totally forgot that it was on my shelf because I've been taking a bit of a breather, and apparently TTArtisans forgot as well. Probably because there's like a bunch of different subsidiaries of TTArtisans as far as like the people that reach out to YouTubers, and you know, I think they kind of get confused about who has their stuff or something. But anyway, yeah, I've had it for a while, and I just found it on my shelf and realized that I've never done anything with it. I never made a review, so that's what I'm doing today. And I should add that I'm about done with like the TTArtisans and the 7 Artisans. Unless something really interesting comes out, I'm probably just not going to be doing those a whole lot anymore. There doesn't seem to be a ton of interest in this particular kind of range of lenses. Very, very little. I kind of get why. It's because you got companies like Viltrox out here in Sirui that are having like cost-effective options that are actually really, really exceptional. You know, TTArtisans, 7 Artisans, they're just not quite, I mean, they're often cheaper, but you also don't really get the value proposition all of the time. Now, that may not be the case with this. It may be a perfectly fine lens. It may be an exceptional lens. I don't know. I haven't used it yet. People just don't seem to have a ton of interest in, you know, this and a couple of other brands. And so the focus speed isn't too bad, but basically without fail, whether you're out of focus behind the subject or out of focus in front of the subject, it inevitably will always find the subject, but it hunts as soon as it hits it. So if I focus at infinity and then I go to my subject, it comes in, goes back and forth kind of quick, and then it finds it. And it does that whether you're focused in front of the subject or behind the subject. It does not matter. But speed-wise, it's not too bad. I'm gonna go grab my black and white ability real quick. Some things that are probably worth noting. The USB-C port is actually in the lens cap, which is kind of interesting. There's some contact points in here. That's kind of interesting, but this doesn't stay on very good. It's on there very loose. And so that's just something to be mindful of. First thing off the top of my head, compared to the Nikon Z 40mm f2, neither one of them feel exceptionally well made. Mostly plastics, in fact, pretty much all plastics. But the TTArtisans does have a metal lens mount, if that matters to you, instead of the super hard glossy plastic that the Nikon Z 40mm f2 has. Other than that, the front lens cap, it's not particularly great. It pops off fairly easy. I don't think it'll come off. No, it will come off on your pants. It doesn't weigh that much. It's quite small. It does have a clickable aperture. You can't turn the click off. There's no click on or off. It just is what it is. Generally leave these in auto and just let my control dial do that. It's nice to have it on there if it's real. If it's a real mechanical mechanism in case the electronics fail. Let's see. Okay, so it actually doesn't change anything. So if it doesn't have an electrical current going through it, it actually doesn't do anything. And so, and in that sense, I don't really care if it's on there or not. It's kind of worthless. And the reason I say that is because mechanical things tend to break down a lot slower than electrical things. Electrical things are more delicate, you know, because they have little wires and contacts, and if those contacts get obstructed or whatever, dirty, or just fail or burn up or whatever, they're just simply not going to work. And so like a mechanical thing, if it's all enclosed and internal, whatever grease or oil might be on there, whatever kind of lubricant might be in there, it's going to be okay for a while. I mean, look at like some of the old Nikon lenses. I mean, it takes decades and decades and decades. Yeah, that's the difference between mechanical and electronic. So, all right, so let's get to testing this out so I can go in Lightroom and see how it's doing. Okay, so we have made it into Lightroom. Let's go through our saturation. Red saturation actually looks pretty good. Got some fringing already up here. Looks kind of fuzzy. Instead of a smooth transition to the out of focus area, it's just kind of fuzzy. That's generally the kind of thing you see when you have a lens that overall just really isn't that sharp. Purple fringe there, purple fringe there. That kind of looks just slightly south of accurate on blue saturation. Barely not exact. Let me peep the yellow over here. Yellow looks good whether you're a stop underexposed or not. These greens look right. So far, the only color that doesn't really seem, it seems a little bit weak is the blue for one reason or another. Again, there's some softness in this. And where it starts to go out of focus, it's just not, it doesn't go smooth. These things start to fall apart. I imagine when we look at our sharpness image a little bit later, we will probably see exactly what I mean, which is right here. Now, this is close to minimum focus, about an inch back from minimum at f2. And it's just not that sharp at all. Let's look in these little cracks because we can sometimes see fringing in here. I guarantee it's going to be there. The out of focus areas just aren't particularly attractive on this lens. They're just kind of, because it's not that sharp of a lens, it's kind of fuzzy. You know, everything starts to suffer the further you get away from your focus point. Fringing, green fringing, kind of all over the place. Decent amount of contrast though. So far, that's the only plus that I see. The overall tone of the images are pretty good. Checking for vignetting. There is vignetting, a decent amount of it. I guess we could check for fringing that I know is going to be there. Indeed, green fringe, purple fringe. Certainly not the worst fringing I've ever seen on a lens. I've seen lenses where the entire line is just purple or green or whatever. Yeah, fringing back here in the out of focus area. The limbs. Check these limbs too for fringing. It's going to fringe at every single opportunity. So basically every bokeh ball is going to have that green fringe or purple fringe or whatever. You can't see it too bad, I mean, whenever you're not zoomed in. All right, now we got our black and white ability. We all know the rules. I just hit the black and white button. That's not what you should do with your black and whites, but that's what we do just to get a baseline of how it is. It's not terrible. I'd give it like a 1.5 if I did decimals, but I don't. I always round down so it gets a 1. But it's really not terrible. So we have decent contrast and we have okay black and white ability. And I don't know why I took this shot, but I did. It's just not super duper sharp. You definitely want to, you don't want to be anywhere close to minimum focus with this lens. All right, and so I decided to stop down. I assumed that this lens, you know, at the price point that it comes in, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I had a feeling it probably wasn't going to be that sharp, and so I wanted to do a little stop down test here. This is f2, f2.8, little bit of an improvement, but still kind of fuzzy. f4, a little bit of improvement, not as much as you might think, and the fringing is still pretty bad. This is 5.6, and it doesn't seem like it improves all that much as far as the overall sharpness. Obviously, more things are coming into focus. That tends to be what happens, but it's not like sharpening up. And f6.3 doesn't look that much different either. So it seems like it reaches peak sharpness like somewhere between f2.8 and f4, so maybe f3.5, and it never really gets that sharp. So that's no fun. In the overall images, they come together pretty good. There is a decent tone in this lens. It's painfully not sharp. And it's not just like it's soft. It's like fuzzy soft. It's like ugly soft. Soft, soft, soft. Do not like how the out of focus parts of this lens look. And I played around with animal eye tracking and to kind of see if anything funky happens with Marin's coat. Looks like there's a little bit of like a color funkiness going on. I can tell that like it was somewhere in here, but it's just not, it's not sharp enough for me to tell whether it hit or not. When she's standing still, it seems like it's on. This is probably too close. This is probably no fault of the lens not being able to keep up. She's probably too close. Some kind of weird colors going on in her coat. Kind of like a blue cast deal going on. Miss. Soft. Total miss. That's on, but it's soft. Well, that blue is bad. Those are all kind of performing consistently. It's a mixture between on and it's not sharp or a miss. So it's not doing a super good job. I actually don't really fault third-party lenses that much. I mean, the lower the price range, obviously, you really can't judge it. But even on the higher-end ones, I don't expect them to communicate as well with the cameras as, you know, native lenses do. There you go. You do a little play around, you can make something work. And then we'll end with this one. It's not in focus at all, but it's a funny picture. So let's talk a little bit about pricing. This lens comes in at $168, which, you know, that's very inexpensive. But here's the thing. The Nikon Z 40mm f2 is on holiday savings right now at B&H. Link in the description if you're thinking about picking up either one of these lenses. And it's $196.95 right now on the holiday savings. Normal price is $296.95, but this, I mean, is usually on sale, it seems. It seems like, I mean, anytime Nikon has a sale, this lens is included. It's just always there, honestly, because it goes on sale all the time. Every opportunity, Labor Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day, your birthday, whatever. Any excuse to put this on sale for $100 off, it seems like it goes on sale for $100 off. Now, this lens actually does have decent black and white ability, good contrast, sharper. This is actually a very, very good lens, not just at its normal price, but like at any price. It's just a good lens. I'm a big fan of this lens, and it's dirt cheap, far superior to the TTArtisans, as you might expect. I would recommend this one. 40mm is less common these days than it used to be. It used to be a lot more common. I actually like 40mm. I think it's fun to work with. So if you haven't used this lens, check it out. You don't really have that much to lose. And if you would prefer the TTArtisan's AF 40mm f2 for the Nikon Z mount, well, you have even less to lose. I'm Z Wade, the Z Wade, and Z Wade Photo. Stay sharp, YouTube.